Hey everybody, and welcome to a scary wild ride with Steve-O. We're here in Australia, where the time zone is so wildly off and it's a different day. And when I wake up in the morning out here, I'm scared of what I'm going to see on my phone, honestly, because what's going on with our buddy Bam is genuinely terrifying. And he's been running from the police, allegedly with an 8-year-old girl in the car with his girlfriend and on like a crazy meth bender. All of this, according to TMZ reporting, it's really, really gnarly stuff. And I have a lot to say about it. You know, I have a lot to say about how I feel. Also, aside from all of that, what's been happening out here in Australia is so utterly ridiculous with the legal prostitution, with the prison pocket demonstration. I mean, you're not going to believe the information that you hear about the smuggling, first-hand account, the smuggling of contraband into prison. Man, that we really might have recorded the most wildly entertaining and scary wild ride ever. So let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I saying?
Me.
Did I ever... Ladies and gentlemen, me and Scott Randolph and Vinny are going to tell you about the craziest week ever.
Solo pod number 3.
Yep. Might as well start off with Bam is running from the law, hiding in the woods, threatening to kill people. This all according to TMZ.
It's pretty unreal.
How long do you guys hear it before it hits the news cycle? Or do you pretty much hear about it as it hits the news cycle?
Okay. Here's the...
Oh, wow. Glad you asked.
There's, I'm not necessarily glad you asked, but there's this subreddit strictly devoted to people talking about Bam Margera. Mm-hmm. And it is absolutely insane how fast news develops on the Let's Talk Bam subreddit. And
that's what it's called, Let's Talk Bam?
It's called Let's Talk Bam. I've never been to Reddit before, but I heard about this Bam page, and I went and checked it out, and there are some resourceful people on there. And a lot of it's really funny, a lot of it's really sad, a lot of it's breaking news, but I'm pretty sure that's where TMZ is getting all of the scoops, is from. So
Reddit is the source.
You really think TMZ is getting it from Reddit?
I think people on Reddit are feeding it to TMZ.
Okay.
And you know, the stuff breaks on Reddit, it goes to TMZ.
Yeah.
But wow, I mean, we have had the gnarliest week ever, and I don't even know where to begin with. The prostitutes, with the key stirring. But I do want to just wrap up the Bam talk a little bit. He found out about this free Bam movement, which is just the most lunatic stuff.
He's just finding out about it now.
There's speculation about whether he knew and forgot, or whether he's lying, saying that he never knew. Who knows? But there's a particular loony person in charge of this whole operation, and he found out about this loony lady and asked to do an interview with her. And according to a lot of people, he's many days into a meth bender. Like smoking crystal meth and drinking alcohol and going to do interviews with this loony lady. And it seems that just about as soon as he got out of her presence, like he's assaulting people and threatening to kill people and hiding in the woods. Clearly, the story about Bam hiding in the woods is not a joking matter. But it is worth asking my male audience, what are you hiding in your shrubbery down there? I mean, come on, dudes. Like, ladies are not interested in finding a bunch of shrubbery with your garbage. They're not. And that's why Manscaped is such a great sponsor of the Wild Ride podcast. And they're a great company because they're saving people's lives in this month of April, which is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. So, dudes, let's support Manscaped. Let's clear away the shrubbery and the bush, and let's help with the cause of testicular cancer by checking our nuggets and just doing the right thing and buying these products. Plus, if you want to get a killer deal on these products, like the Lawnmower 4.0, the new Weed Whacker 2.0, get out of here. I use this stuff all the time, man. My nose hair, I'm on top of it because of the Weed Whacker. And if you go to Manscaped.com and use the promo code STEVO, they will give you 20% off of your order plus free shipping. Come on, could this be a better company? It's Manscaped, baby. Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code STEVO. 20% off your order, free shipping, and saving lives. Now let's get back to it. Recording this on Wednesday, American time, and it'll come out on Thursday. And without a doubt, in just the 24 hours between now and when this comes out, there will be lots of news. Like, that's what's so crazy about his subreddit, is that...
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
I mean, it's crazy that people are like, yeah, come on my podcast and talk while he's on meth. Like,
right.
That's kind of gnarly.
I'm really, really glad that, number one, we never had Bam on the podcast when he was intoxicated. He thought maybe...
Allegedly.
But, like...
I mean...
But he was in a place where he shouldn't have been.
Well, whenever we've spoken to Bam on the podcast, he's been presentable.
Yeah.
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 All right.
He's been lovely to deal with.
Right.
And when he was on tour with us, it wasn't bad.
When he was on tour with us, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and just scrapped all of that footage.
Oh, did you scrap it?
Yeah,
it's never going to see the light of day.
I mean, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Even though it has its moments of heartwarming, and we probably could have made a lot of money if we sold those Bam skateboards.
For sure.
But it's all out the window. So take that, anybody who thinks...
God, I'm so glad I got one of those boards.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of money, too. You haven't even talked about what you were going to do with that money, too.
I did want to... help create a trust fund for Phoenix. But then, with Nikki filing for legal separation, sole custody, like this and that, like now there's a whole new wrinkle in it where, we're going to be talking about alimony. We're going to be talking about child support, and he's going to have to pay that anyway. So I did suggest, hey, why don't we sell these skateboards and have... have money go straight to cover Phoenix, child support, alimony, like whatever. Like, that's coming out of your pocket either way. And when I made that suggestion, I got a call from a very drunk Bam. How dare you?
Really?
I did my work. I worked here. That's, and I was like, Bam, I've paid you for everything you did. I'm talking about anything in the future, that has not happened yet.
Yeah,
like, for me to do more in the future, I really just, wouldn't. And how dare you? This was the first day that he posted the challenge Knoxville to the
to the boxing match.
No glove boxing.
Yeah.
Jesus. I'm just, I was laying in the shower. Just laying on the ground, soaking the water over me and thinking about it. I was like, this craziness with Bam. What I'm so sad about is that if he was happy and healthy, like, not only would he be thriving, if he was sober and productive, he'd be thriving. But the two of us would be so much stronger together.
For sure.
I mean, you look at like Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer and how much stronger they are together because of the 2 bears in 1 cave and stuff. And I just think about the opportunities that we could have had.
Yeah.
But there are no opportunities because all of this is going on. And as far as him being running from the cops and hiding in the woods, like whatever is going on, I hope to God that he gets arrested. I hope to God that the family...
Because at that point, the taxpayers are just paying for him to go to jail and detox, right? I mean, that's kind of, instead of him coming out of pocket $50,000 a month.
Forget about like the taxpayers paying the money. It's more of like maybe the actual jail time will force him and give him enough time away from the drugs where it's like, okay, I'm sober for a little bit.
That's the one thing that we haven't tried yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And furthermore, it's sitting in jail is the only place where everybody can have a reasonable expectation that he's safe.
Yeah.
That he's not harming himself or others.
Is that a good segue for jail talk? Or do you want to...
Sure.
I mean, my point with the taxpayers was I remember like 15 years ago or something when I was going through it with a family member. I was watching Dr. Drew and he was just like, you know, if you're suspecting somebody's drunk driving and it's been enough, like call the cops on them, get them arrested, have them. And that just kind of always stuck out with me, but that's why I brought that up.
And if with all of these people saying that he's smoking meth, I've always been pretty careful not to make that allegation myself, even though, you know, like it would seem that it'd be pretty easy to set up some situation where he could be arrested for that, and that'd probably be the best thing that ever happened to him.
Yeah, but it sounds like his charges now are a little bit more serious than that.
Yeah, they're all misdemeanors. They're terroristic threats for telling multiple people he wants to put a bullet in their head.
A terrorist threat is just a misdemeanor?
I want to put a bullet in your head is what earned the terroristic threat, as I understand it. And it's only
He didn't get a charge for taking the car?
No charge for taking the car because it was legitimately borrowed to his crazy girlfriend, and she just never gave it back.
Jesus.
And that's how he inherited a daughter. How he's talking about how he has a daughter now?
Yeah, he's talking about how he has a daughter, and with all of this crazy psycho stuff, it seems that this poor 8-year-old girl is in tow, being subjected to all of it.
So sad.
There was a point when, like, in and around where the car was taken, that apparently the 8-year-old girl was left
at April's, right?
I saw that. With April.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess there's a break, you know, that she's not with Bam running from the cops, you know, with all the things going on. But
poor April. I mean, if he goes to jail, at least she can sigh relief where she knows where he is.
Yeah. Right.
That's like, ugh, okay. Now I know he's not in the fucking woods.
I hope to God that he doesn't die. I hope to God that the family will press charges, do whatever it takes to get him. Because it's the one thing we haven't seen yet. We haven't tried that yet. I think that I think Bam's so scared of being in jail that's the one thing.
But do you think with these charges not being that serious, he'll actually get a?
But there's so many charges. I mean, like, wouldn't
there's
a judge?
Like 4 or 5.
But wouldn't a judge look at the last 4 years and be like?
Hopefully.
Okay, then let me ask you this: Would somebody like Bam go to protective custody, or would they go like in the mix with everybody?
Or get like
protective custody for sure.
The whole time.
Yeah, he would be absolutely, totally safe. There's no way that they would let him be in contact with other prisoners, other inmates. There's no way. And for that matter, anytime somebody with any kind of fame is in jail, there's no upside for the jail. Something bad happens to that person, the jail's screwed.
For sure.
Like all of a sudden that jail's under a microscope. Like they want to get celebrities kind of out of there because there's no benefit to the jail for having them in there. Is my understanding, which doesn't help the case because it would be better if he was in there.
Okay.
But
you think it would be better if he was in general population?
No. I just think it'd be better if he was in jail.
Oh, if he was in jail in general, yeah, for sure.
I think that you know, but it's just so scary, man. It's so scary. Like how crazy and bad this is. Like now, like I was afraid when I woke up today in Australia. We're so many hours ahead that we wake up and it's already evening back home. Yeah. And I'm like, what happened today? You know, am I going to turn on my phone, turn off Do Not Disturb and find out terrible news.
Do you think that Bam's like so addicted to meth that when he does get caught and goes to jail, he's going to keister some meth to get in there?
I see what you did there.
I mean, we did just learn a lot about the art of keistering.
It really is an art, huh?
I mean,
It was an art.
Yeah.
You were pretty methodical about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, very great segue. Our buddy Vinny here went to jail for 6 months.
Yeah.
We talked about this with Maynard from Tool.
Yeah.
We've talked about it with a number of people. And
It started off with Knoxville, right?
started off with Knoxville.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we weren't even recording, we were just hanging out.
I just thought it would be really funny to start talking about prison pockets.
Right.
And now I'm just known as Prison Pocket Vinny.
Yeah. So you went to jail for 6 months, badly addicted to heroin.
Yeah.
And so you surrendered yourself.
Yeah, I surrendered myself.
Where did you surrender yourself?
Into court.
Was it at like a court?
Yeah, like an actual courthouse.
What'd you get caught for?
That charge was for a larceny.
Larceny
Yeah.
is anything over $1,500?
No, anything
stolen?
under. No, larceny 6. Anything under $1,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
And okay, so I know that when I had my second drunk driving arrest, I showed up to the arraignment. Was it the arraignment? And I asked, like, I want to plead guilty and just, can I turn myself in now? Like, I don't want to go all the way home and then come all the way back. Let me just get it all done in one
Just
day.
get over with. Yeah.
Did you do that?
No, we were trying to fight it. At this one, I had a really shitty lawyer. But
Wait,
like,
you mean when you were living in a porta potty, you had a shitty lawyer?
It was the advertisement on the porta potty. He's like, maybe I can call this guy.
yeah, no, this was actually before the porta potty, like a pretty good while before it. But yeah, I went to court a few times, just trying to like get my sentence lowered. You know, just
Okay.
keep fighting it, and eventually they offered what they gave me.
What does that even look like? Does that mean that you had a trial?
No, it was more of like, okay, we go in, I talk to my lawyer, he goes, okay, this is what they're going to offer you. I
So this
say
wasn't
no.
a court date.
No, it wasn't a court date. And then I go in, he says, okay, the judge is offering you this much. I either accept or decline. And
What was he offering you?
the first one was like over a year, and I was like, no, fuck that. The second one was like 9 months, no, fuck that. And then like the cap was like 6 months.
And the charge again was for Percocet pills.
No, this one was for larceny 6. And I got this jail time because I've had a couple felonies before that.
What's
So it's like,
what's larceny 6 mean?
larceny 6 is just stealing stuff under $1,500. Like that's the value of under $1,500.
So
What were you
so
stealing?
it's like it's kind of like white, like a white lie. It's like white stealing.
So what I would oh god. So what I would do is I would like go into like grocery stores with like a shopping cart, and I would take like the 12 cases of Red Bull and Monster, and then I would just take them to my local bodega and sell them for $1 a piece.
To the bodega man?
Yeah, to the bodega. man.
That's pretty. That's like good guy theft.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
It's just
Robin Hood.
junkie theft. Like
When I was homeless, in like
Robin of larceny.
back in like the beginning of 1994, my MO was to I would do like a backflip or just something, like something for like 25 cents or so. I'd come up with 25 cents.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd even just beg for 25 cents, and then like I'd be able to buy like a loaf of bread for like 50 cents. But when I went in to go buy the loaf of bread, like I would tuck a pack of hot dogs into like my coat.
Yeah.
And then so the buying the loaf of bread was more of an exercise in like making sure that nobody appeared to be onto me. So I knew I made a legitimate purchase.
Yeah.
Like, I stole the hot dogs, bought the bread, and then I would take that all over to the 7-Eleven and use their microwave to cook the hot dogs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And use all their condiments to load up the hot dogs.
You guys never buy beer and like tuck your pant leg into your shoe and just stick 40s down your leg? You never did that? No. Oh. All right.
No. Okay, so minor theft. You go
Yeah.
into now you got to go to jail for 6 months.
Yeah.
And when do you turn yourself into jail?
When did I?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like you reach a deal?
They gave me like a couple days, and I had to come back to the courthouse to turn myself in, and then they put me in cuffs and put me in the back of the paddy wagon.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
And put you in the back of the paddy wagon. At that point, are you already keistered?
Already keistered.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you knew what the plea deal was going to be.
Yeah.
And you were like, all right, I know I'm going to the courthouse. I know I'm going to accept 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to be dope sick, so I'm putting a bunch of stuff up
Oh,
my butt.
you were
Yeah.
you had it up your butt in the courthouse?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you had, you said 10 bundles.
No, 10 Xanax bars.
10 Xanax bars.
Yeah,
two
two
bundles. So there's 10 packs of heroin per bundle.
Yeah, but remember the packs of dope are tiny. It's like
It's one fix.
Yeah, no. One bundle can get me like through a few days if I if I ration it. Like,
Yeah, but that's
if I'm home, I'm not doing that.
That's like rationing, like that's like ordering a Happy Meal and only
and
eating 3 fries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so one bundle can get you through 3 days if you're desperate.
If I'm really.
And you had
making sure.
20 bundles.
No, I had 20 bags. 2 bundles. Each bundle has 10 bags.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so each bundle has so one bag
Yeah.
is one fix.
Yeah.
So you had
2
20
bags.
fixes.
2 bags is a fix.
So you could get through 1 week.
Yeah.
If you're desperate.
Yeah. It lasted me a little over a week.
So what did you do after the week? Okay, we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So you got 20 bags, 2 bundles.
Yes.
And you've got 2 grams of tobacco.
Yeah.
2 packs of rolling papers.
Yeah.
10 Xanax bars.
Yes.
And a hypodermic needle.
Yeah.
All wrapped around with saran wrap.
Yes.
And then a condom over the whole thing.
Double wrapped with condoms.
Double wrapped with
Yeah.
condoms.
Yeah.
And the size of that lengthwise about 6 inches.
Maybe, maybe 4.
So it was like a cigar, like a
Yeah.
standard-ish,
For sure.
good and thick cigar.
Yeah.
And right up the old poop chute.
Yeah. And when I did it the first time, I didn't care what would happen to me because
Right.
there's so many things that can go wrong.
When you did it the first time.
You mean when you're putting needles up your butt?
Yeah, what could possibly
Right,
go wrong?
but you were just so out of your mind.
I was just so out of mind,
desperate.
didn't care,
Right.
Because there's a fucking needle in my keister. So
Right.
So-
Is keister a scientific term?
no, I don't think
Oh,
so.
okay.
No.
All right. So
Rectum.
So you go to the court with this in there.
Yeah.
Then you agree to the plea deal.
Yeah.
They handcuff you in the courtroom, put
Yeah.
you in the paddy wagon.
Yeah.
Now they're going to take you over to the city jail.
Yeah.
And for to be processed into jail, and then presumably you'll be processed into there, and then transported over to more of a county jail.
Yeah.
And for you to feel like you were settled in there, like not under the radar, and ready to remove the package from your keister, took
A little over 24 hours.
a little over 24 hours.
Yeah, because it takes a while for you to get settled in. Like you got to go through so many things. You got to see go through so many like checkpoints.
Mug shots,
Yeah,
fingerprints.
exactly. And
Did they ask you to lift up your ball sack and cough?
so they did, but they didn't like peak super hard.
I mean, they would have to lift some folds if we're honest.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah. But like, and all, that was also terrifying. I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna find all this up me right now.
And that's another
And that's
charge?
another charge. That's
Yeah.
another. That's
big
another.
time.
Yeah.
That's a major charge.
Major felony.
And by the way, as this story unfolds, keep in mind we haven't even gotten to the prostitute action that we had this week.
Yeah.
So this
It's been a heavy week.
it's been a really, really heavy week.
Yeah.
And thank God we've got so much to talk about because it means a lot to me when we do a podcast without a guest.
Yeah.
But back to your 24 hours in.
Yeah.
Where are you in one of these huge kind of gymnasium?
I'm in a dorm.
Yeah.
I'm in a dorm, and I'm on top bunk,
It
which is
feels like a
the worst.
gymnasium, and it's
Yeah.
got
It's
bunks.
filled with bunks. Maybe 30 bunks. Maybe more than that. 40 bunks.
Detoxing at this point?
I'm starting to feel sick. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh my God, I need to get this out of me. I need to get loaded somehow. And but 24 hours later, you know, I'm like, okay, I think I feel safe enough where I could just like go to the toilet and try to get this thing out of me. And that's what I did. And it was the best thing that's because I knew like I was gonna be so sick.
Aren't there cameras in the toilets, or can't they see what's going on?
Nah, there's cameras like
How
not
do you
not
know?
in the toilets.
There's cameras on everything you could possibly do, maybe except take a dump.
Yeah. Except the dump, taking a dump and taking a shower.
Ooh, that's why so much violence goes down
Yeah.
in the shower, huh?
Yeah.
That's why they say don't drop the soap.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth mentioning too that the type of heroin that you had in your keister was not the kind that you have to cook in a spoon. I think
No.
I think the layman pictures like, oh, heroin. In order to shoot up heroin, you have to cook it in a spoon.
Yeah.
But that's if you're using black tar heroin.
Yeah.
When you had that powdered China white.
Exactly.
So all you have to do with the powdered China white is simply mix it with
yeah,
water.
mix it with water. Yeah.
Preferably purified water, but you didn't care. You would
I
have
didn't
mixed
give
it
a,
with.
I would have mixed it with porta potty water if I had.
The blue liquid in the porta potty.
I mean, I've used some crazy shit to mix my stuff up before.
Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you go to the toilet,
Yeah.
you poop it out. This is the better than any Christmas morning you've ever.
For sure. yeah, I'm on top of the world.
Right. Where do you begin to unwrap the package?
Right there.
Right in the toilet.
Yeah, right in the toilet.
Are
I don't
there
even wait till like I get right there.
You
I
get
don't even
right,
wait.
right.
You get
there.
right with God, right? There.
Yeah.
You become one with the universe.
Yeah.
And so, are other people waiting to use the toilet, or
I don't think so. No.
is this like the middle of the night?
It was middle of the night. Yeah.
Okay, so you get right.
Yeah.
You're so happy. You're
Yeah.
able to flush down the
All the wrapping.
saran
Yeah,
wrap,
all
the
the wrapping.
condoms, everything you don't need.
Yeah.
Everything that remains stinks pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
This story just gets crazier and crazier. And speaking of things stinking really bad, there are some habits that make you stink really bad. And you might need to quit that habit. So what's the best way to do it? Replace a bad habit with a good habit. And the best way for me? Fume. That's what I'm talking about right here. It's this device. It's got a completely natural flavored core. So you can replace electronic gadgets with this, a simple thing. Man, I love Fume. And if you go to tryfume.com, that's TRYFUM.com, and use the promo code STEVO, then you can get 10% off your order right now. Now ask yourself, do I really need to do something? Is it time for me to quit my bad habits? Well, go to tryfume.com and use the promo code STEVO, because I think the answer is yes. All right, let's get back to it.
And I would just like to go back to my bunk. You know, I don't feel safe enough keeping it in my pockets. So like, I'll like keep it in my butt cheeks.
Right.
You know, for
Really?
most of the time, yeah. And then like I'll go to my bunk
Why not
because
just
like
stash it in your sheets on your bed?
because they check your sheets and stuff like randomly. You don't know when it's gonna happen. They might not at all. You know, but like that again, that's another charge. So you don't want to.
Dude, this is
anybody find it.
fascinating, man. I'm loving this story. How long are you in the gymnasium type setup with all the bunk beds before you get into a
Nope,
cell?
I was
with
in there the whole time.
Oh, I thought you said you had a cellie.
No.
Who was
No, I
the
had a
store.
bunkie.
Oh, a bunkie.
Yeah, my bunkie.
So
yeah.
wait, you shit it out? Do you rig up right there?
Right there.
Yeah.
You pop a Xanax.
Right there.
So and then you smoke a cigarette.
No, I didn't smoke at the time because I was afraid. I didn't
That
want.
you would draw attention,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they come in. What's
yeah,
this?
you smoke outside.
So that was your deal. You rigged up, popped the Xanax, and then you
Yeah.
walk back like
and then
you're
I'm
fucking
and then I'm
Leonardo
fucking
DiCaprio in
King
Basketball
Kong,
Diaries.
just fucking.
Did you rig up and then pop a Xanax, or pop a Xanax first? You gotta wait for the Xanax to come on.
No, I popped the Xanax and
Yeah.
then rigged, but I'm not waiting for the Xanax to come on. I pop it and then
Sure,
I'm rigging.
of course.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're not gonna shoot up and then pop the Xanax. You can pop the Xanax and then shoot
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Can you imagine
I mean-
this guy walking back to the fucking bunk? Like you look at the cameras and you just like,
I'm just fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, it got to be so obvious, dude.
Okay, so
I'd like to think that I hit it pretty well.
You had the same bunk bed for the whole 6
Yeah,
months.
the whole 6 months.
You're in the same room.
Yeah, the top bunk. And like when I was out of all the drugs and I got dope sick, I was on the top bunk, and it was the worst feeling I've ever had in my life. I was shitting my pants. Like, it was on the top bunk.
You didn't go without drugs the whole time, right?
Well, it's like, okay, I'm done with mine. It's not the easiest finding more in jail, you know? It's like, I don't like to, so like, I try to keep to myself and only stick with a few people, but I probably got loaded on other people's shit maybe 5 times the whole time I was there.
How'd you pay for it?
Just store stuff.
Okay, help with store stuff.
You know, you get like
Commissary.
Commissary, like cookie balls or coffee balls or
so
honey buns.
That's commissary stuff, which requires you to have money on your books.
For sure.
Were people putting money on your books?
My mom put a little bit of money on my books, but that was about it.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like over my shit and like, she just
Weird.
yeah, well, like why would she?
Believe that?
Yeah, can you believe it?
So what about? Would you ever like forego a meal to be able to trade your
like a hot meal?
Yeah.
Like a no.
Yeah, that's not your MO.
No. Yeah.
What about like prison debt? Were you worried about going into debt?
No.
You ever get in any fights in prison?
Nope. No. Everybody thought I was Puerto Rican in prison, so it's like I learned more Spanish in there than I did in school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Wow.
So you were sick most of the time.
Yeah, for a while.
And at no point did you think, man, this is a real gift that I'm detoxing in jail, and now I can just stay sober.
No, I didn't think of it as like, oh, it's a real gift, like how we were talking with Bam, that it might work like that. It was more of like, oh my God, this is a miserable existence. I'm never going to go back to that shit ever again.
This is a miserable existence. I'm never going to go without heroin again.
Yeah.
That's what you thought?
No.
Wow. When you got out of prison,
I went right back into it.
But how long were you sober for before you got out of prison?
Maybe a couple months.
So you didn't.
A couple months.
Yeah.
So you're 2 months clean.
Yeah, and
clean,
the whole time I'm like, oh, I'm done. I'm done using. I'm done doing everything that I was doing, and this night I'm out.
How did that happen?
Okay, well, the night that you're out, now you haven't had a fix for 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, is it on your mind that when people fix up after...
Because your tolerance is so low.
Your tolerance is so low. Are you worried I'm going to OD and die?
No, I never worry about that because I'm just focused on getting as close to death as possible.
You're never worried about the overdose. You're just terrified of the underdose.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And we were kind of getting into it. You have overdosed.
Yeah, 15 times.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
And how many of those times were you legally dead?
3, maybe 4 times.
What's the difference between an overdose and being legally dead?
Well, overdose, it's like you stop breathing for a little bit, and then you come back to it without any like external help. You know, like
External
paramedics,
help? You
like
mean like
Narcan and shit like that.
Narcan,
Yeah.
CPR,
Yeah.
defibrillators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've woken up from an overdose with a tube all the way down my throat, my arms tied. So and then
Where?
I was in the middle of Vermont, and in some dude's house, and I wake up, and I feel this thing all the way down my throat, and the first thing I do is I'm freaking out, so I'm trying to pull it out, but they take my arms down, and I'm just like
The paramedics.
the paramedics, yeah. And the first thing that came to my, I had like a bunch of heroin in this dude's closet. So the first thing that came to my mind was, I hope they didn't find my heroin. You know, it's like, that's how fucking sick it is. You know, it's crazy.
So the night you get out of jail, you're back on.
I don't think my mom knows about any of these overdoses. That's crazy. Yeah.
It's a heartwarming story, and having discussed your prison pocket, you know, in much shorter terms before. This was more of a deep dive.
Yeah.
Fascinating. But because we've been discussing your prison pocket, we thought, why don't we do a prison pocket demo?
Yeah.
And that's one of the greatest things that has happened in a long time in my life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm honored.
Yeah. And we did that here in Australia. It's so ironic, too, that Australia is very difficult to get into, and if you're a criminal, if you've got arrests, particularly felonies, which you have, you're a felon.
Yeah.
And so we came to Australia before, and you were never even allowed in.
Yeah.
Then we went home and came back for this second leg of the Australian tour.
Yeah.
And we were managed. So now we're in Australia.
Yeah, the whole time you guys were here, me and Scott and Isaac were just going back and forth with the attorneys, just like trying to make it happen.
Right. And Australia is so touchy about felonies that it's just beautiful and poetic that we chose while you're in Australia to celebrate
It really is.
your prison pocket. So we wrapped up, we put together a bundle
Yeah.
for your a prison rocket.
And it was,
A health bundle.
yeah.
If the first one for jail was 5 inches, this one had to be like 7 inches.
Yeah, it was a lot bigger, longer and wider.
I mean, we had we put 2 espresso pods in there. For God's sakes, that's
Yeah, what else did you put in
in the
there?
video when you point to the espresso pod and say that's the size of my butthole. A lot of people would consider that a pretty gaping butthole.
I know. Yeah.
So we put together this huge package, and you just went for it.
Yeah, and I struggled at first, and then I just turned it
I didn't
around.
see a lot of struggling. I
Maybe
just
he was
saw,
acting like he was struggling.
I saw an angry bulldog.
Yeah. I was thinking before we went into it, I was like, oh man, if I get this thing really easy, should I just act and pretend I'm having
Yeah.
trouble?
It's a good call.
Yeah.
So we get it up there virtually without issue.
Yeah, no issue.
But you were like badly, like very gingerly limping around, like to the point where if I was a correctional officer in a jail and I saw you walking like that, I'd be like, hey buddy, get over here.
Yeah.
Like, and you were scared to sit down. You were in great discomfort.
Yeah, no pain, just discomfort. Yeah.
We go out to dinner and you said, man, I got to go to the bathroom and push this thing up further.
Yeah.
So you go to the bathroom, push it up further, come back to the table, nothing's changed, except later in the dinner, all of a sudden you go, oh, it just went up.
Yeah.
Like, totally, it's just so weird. Like, the time delay between you pushing up further and then maybe another 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, oh, it just went up. And once it did, and presumably what you were talking about, it going up, it went past what's called your inner butthole.
Yeah.
There's an inner butthole, and it just, your inner butthole just swallowed the package.
Yeah.
And once it went past your inner butthole, all of a sudden the discomfort was gone.
The discomfort, everything was gone. I couldn't even feel it in there.
You didn't even know it was there.
I didn't even know it was in there. That's why I was getting more. It was free. That was what was freaking me out. Just not
Right.
being able to feel it.
Right, because you can't even tell it's in there.
Yeah.
It's so far up there.
Yeah.
Now it becomes a real question of whether it's going to come out.
Exactly.
Because we know that there have been so many people. We spoke with the famous plastic surgeon, Dr. Terry Dubrow of the show Botched, and he told us about how he understands every emergency room has a special drawer where they keep objects which were like surgically removed from people's butts.
That's great. That's
Yeah,
sick.
they call. I forget. There's like some.
Yeah, I remember talking about it. I don't remember.
It seems pretty wild that they would do that, but he had that story, and you would have joined the legions of people who have gone to the hospital with that issue.
Yeah, thank God that didn't happen.
Right.
We
We guys went to the hospital.
before
Well,
that.
right. True to the prison pocket demo, we made sure that you kept it up your butt for a solid 24 hours.
Yeah.
And after dinner, we went and played bowling.
Yeah.
Is that what you call it? You went and played bowling?
Yeah.
We went bowling.
Yeah. Yeah. We went bowling.
And you beat everybody.
Yeah, because you guys fucking suck.
And after, like, I mean, dude, it was so funny.
It was so good.
Like, hopefully this...
I haven't had that much fun bowling in a very long time.
Hopefully all of this footage lives on YouTube.
Yeah.
And, and we can direct everybody to the prison pocket video.
Yeah.
/ prostitution video.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So then you go, after bowling, we all go back to the hotel. We sleep for the night. You wake up the next morning And you're actually like a little bit scared.
Yeah. I was pretty nervous. I just didn't know. Like, so many things were going through my head, like worst case scenario things. Like, am I gonna?
Oh, because in the package with the 2 espresso pods included 3 AAA batteries.
Yeah, 3 AAA batteries.
And we did not hear a single good thing about putting AAA batteries up your butt.
Yeah.
It is very important to be careful about what you put in your body. And that's why I start every day with Athletic Greens. Man, I'm telling you, this stuff fills in all the gaps in my diet. It's comprehensive, convenient nutrition, and it is so delicious. Now, I'm going to admit something here, that I've got a new habit, which is mixing my AG1 from Athletic Greens with a lot less water than they recommend, because it's just so tasty, man. I like it to be a stronger mix. So yeah, I enjoy it a lot. I can't say enough about how delicious this stuff is and how good it makes me feel about my nutrition, man. It also makes me feel good about my cognitive abilities, my gut health, everything, man. I'm telling you, it's like one-stop shopping. And if you go to athleticgreens.com/Stevo, then you will get 5 of these comprehensive, convenient AG1 travel packs, plus a year's supply of immune-boosting vitamin D. I mean, you can't beat it. I use this stuff every day. I love the convenient travel packs when I'm on tour. And you're going to love them too. So one more time, go to athleticgreens.com/Stevo and get a load of how delicious this stuff is. Yeah, dude. Now let's get back to it. Not one person said that was a good idea.
Yeah. When you told the doctors too, it was like a game changer for them.
Yeah, because I was like, yeah. So I'm on tour with Stevo, and things got a little crazy last night. I have some things up my butt.
And the guy's like, "Oh, this is great. What are we talking about?"
Yeah, and he grabs a pen and paper and he starts writing everything down, and he's like kind of giggling while I'm telling him all these things. Yeah,
this is fun.
Yeah, and when I said, "Yeah, I have 3 AAA batteries," he just like, no more smile, no more nothing. He just looked at me and he's like, "You really have 3 AAA batteries up your ass right now?" I was like,
yeah.
He goes, "Jesus Christ," like, and then he like made a phone call and and so and then seeing his face made me more nervous. And
that was Maryborough, right?
We forgot to mention that there was also like a proper metal pen. In your butt too. We had 2 espresso pods, 3 AAA batteries, a pen. 4 sheets of paper and 5 Skittles.
Yeah, and we get X-ray.
The pen wasn't even an issue.
No, the pen.
Nobody was tripping about the pen.
No, nobody was tripping about the pen.
Even though it was a sharp point.
Yeah, and that was the other thing that was kind of scaring me too. Like I'm sober now, so of course I'm gonna worry about pointy things up my butt.
Right.
Back then I didn't care.
Yeah,
so now I'm just like freaking out and thinking worst case scenarios. And
so they set you up for an X-ray, but man, it was like not cheap, right? Like, wasn't it before
$900 for the first round?
Yeah.
Like it was like hundreds of dollars before even getting to the X-ray, wasn't it? Like
it was like $900.
No,
not including the X-ray.
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be sending me an invoice via email or not.
Did we not pay for that?
Well, you guys paid for the original the $900. I don't know if that includes the X-ray.
I mean, of course we're going to pay.
Well,
for
I
that.
know. Yeah.
But so then this is approaching. We're now approaching 24 hours since he put it up there.
Yeah.
And they set you up for an X-ray. We go in for the X-ray.
Yeah.
When the X-ray, I'm in the X-ray room, which I'm not supposed to be in. They were like really touchy about cameras, but they let us film.
Yeah.
And so I film you getting the X-ray. It shows up on the screen, and as a layman, my first reaction was, man, like, why didn't those metal espresso pods show up? They're metal. I was so disappointed that I couldn't see the metal espresso pods on the screen with the X-ray. All I saw was the 3 batteries and the metal pen.
Yeah.
And my initial reaction was one of disappointment until I looked away, looked back, and realized that the more like kind of a shadowy, very distinct like outline of the whole package. And when you realize, like, when you see it that way, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
that's a monster package up your butt.
It really was. I didn't like, dude. The thing when I went to prison, it was not that big.
Right.
It was not that big.
When you
at
went to
all.
prison, did it go up the second butthole?
Yeah. Yeah, but it was,
sure.
but yeah, for sure. But it was like it was way smaller, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like I
Right.
like, and again, I was high and loaded. I didn't
Right.
care, you know.
Right.
like-
So we get the X-ray. By the time we notice, like, how you can actually see how monstrous that package is, we're elated. We're
Yeah.
so happy with these X-rays. We waited extra time for them to print out.
Yeah, but
solid,
at first they said they wouldn't give it to us.
Right.
Didn't they say that? They're like, no, we can't give you
So
copies.
I said, can you burn it onto a CD for us?
Yeah.
They said, no, we can't do that. You're really lucky that we're letting you shoot the screen with your cell phone
Yeah.
to get it that way.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, as an afterthought, they're like, hey, we could print you up a physical film
Yeah.
copy of it.
Yeah.
We're like, hell yeah. So we've got this, like, poster size, like,
It's so sick.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we leave the hospital. We go to the venue where we've got the show that night. And it's time for...
Well, before we leave the hospital, I was like, Steve, like, can you give me the green light to poop? And you're like, not without me, bub.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
without me and not
Without a
it
camera.
being on camera.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, like, let's grab a camera and poop in the side of the hospital.
Oh yeah, I
I
forgot
tried,
about
I
that.
tried to get you to poop.
He just wanted me to take a dump on the
It's
side of
just
the
in the
hospital,
bushes.
just in the
On
bushes.
the side of the wall.
So we walk around the side of the hospital, and we're looking around, and Vinny goes, this ain't it, bud.
He goes to jail for fucking indecency.
Yeah, I get deported real quick.
Yeah.
Right. So we go to the venue. We go into a bathroom. I go with you. I'm filming.
Yeah.
And you sit on the toilet, and, like, right away you're able to poop.
Yep.
And you're like, dude, it was just poop. Like I only pooped, and now I don't have any urge. Like I don't feel like I can poop anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and I said,
That's when I got really. I was like, oh no.
right. And I
And
said,
then you're.
Vinny, I said, Vinny, the X-ray was expensive enough. Please don't make us
Yeah.
have to go back to the hospital to pay them to get this out of
just
you.
pretty
Yeah.
much guilt
How
tripping
can
me
you
while I
do this
have
to me?
Right. And then and there was it went on for like a little while there where Vinny was just like super bummed, like scared, you know, and then like minutes had gone by.
Yeah.
And Vinny just gets the thought to just turn around and look and into the toilet. And he peeps into the toilet and he goes, oh, it came out.
That's what came out?
Yeah.
What he thought was just a little piece of poo was this gigantic, like,
Yeah, you weren't wondering why it wasn't smelling in there?
No, it was. Oh, it smelled.
you shit
it
too?
smelled.
Oh yeah, it smelled real bad.
Yeah, it smelled real bad. So we go, so we get the, you know, now the job's done. We've pooped it out. So
Yeah.
everything, we're all good. You know,
Yeah.
we're out of the woods. So, and it stinks so bad in the bathroom. I'm like, I got to get the hell out of here. So I go over to the green room where they set us up with all of our stuff to be backstage. And I ask for a coffee maker that will take the espresso pods so that Vinny can make his coffee. And they bring it to us. We make Vinny eats the 5 Skittles. He drinks his double shot of espresso. He lays out the 4 pieces of paper and writes, and these are tiny little pieces of
Yeah,
paper, like a
yeah.
little mini pad. And he writes a 4-page letter to his mom. Did we mail it yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, God, for God's sakes, Vinny, come on.
We'll get that done.
This is going to be out before she receives your letter.
Yeah, we'll get it done.
He writes this hilarious, "Dear Mom, you know, the boys and I are having a blast in Australia. You should have seen the sunset when I was sticking this huge package up my butt."
Is your mom gonna like that?
Yeah.
I mean,
She'll find it hilarious.
The fact that she's going to be reading this letter on the pages that were actually
were in
up
my
your butt
butthole.
is just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And he wrote the 4-page letter with the pen.
Yeah.
Ate the Skittles, drank the coffee, which only left the 3 AAA batteries.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, and those were the most controversial, like, item. And-
We need to figure out.
Oh, what'd
how
you
to
do
use
with the
it.
batteries?
well, that's the thing, is that I was like, well, now we've got to put the batteries to use. So I with my phone, I Googled what electronics take AAA batteries. And what stood out in the list was bathroom scale. So I was like, oh, man, why don't we let this... Like, just, you know, I got on my Instagram and asked for a fan to bring a bathroom scale that takes AAA batteries. Rad dude showed up right away wearing a Slayer shirt.
Yeah, super rad.
Super rad dude named Christian. And he brought a scale that took 4 AAA batteries. So we used all 3 of ours, put it in the scale. And it essentially began this crazy fitness challenge. Because what did you weigh when you stepped on that scale?
It was 292 pounds. I forget what it was for the...
292 pounds
Yeah.
and you found that out.
130 kilos, right? Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
You found that out because we powered that scale with 3 AAA batteries that were up your butt.
Yeah.
He weighed himself to get on his first private jet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because we already needed a scale anyway.
Yeah.
In order to figure out what we
Yeah,
all
because
weigh.
Isaac and I were like looking for a
think
scale.
of that. This just gets better and better.
Yeah, Isaac and I were looking for a scale. And
You guys
then,
were already looking for a scale
Yeah.
separately.
Yeah.
Because we and this is pretty amazing as like testimony to how devoted you are to my team.
Yeah.
And I've said that, like, you know, you call Vinny at 4 a.m. and he'll answer the phone and apologize for being asleep.
Yeah,
You know, like, hey, you need Vinny to drive the van to Texas. He's like, when do you want me to leave?
Yeah.
You know, like, whatever it is, like, you're the ultimate ride or die team member.
Yeah.
And because we'd had problems with this bus, which we're on right now, breaking down and hitchhiking and this and that, we were like, okay, look, the second leg in Australia, we're getting private jets for the longer drives.
Yeah.
But we got the cheapest possible private jet, which only allowed us to seat 4 people.
Citation Mustangs.
And you would be our 5th person.
Yeah.
So I told you, hey, Vinny, come to Australia, but we're all going to be on private jet, and you're going to be stuck on the bus that may or may not make it.
Yeah.
And you were like, aye, Captain.
I was
easy.
like, I think I said, all right, I think me and Dave are going to be best friends.
Yeah, you said,
Yeah.
you said, I'm stoked. I'm
Yeah.
stoked. Whatever, I'll be on the bus. And then, like, when we got out here, all of a sudden, we were thinking, man, like, how do we get Vinny on the plane? And the answer was really limit how much luggage we have, weigh everybody. And so that's why we needed the scale.
It was insane.
And how was your first? I mean, that was a cool jet.
Yeah, it was so sick. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little emotional.
I bet.
Yeah, I got super emotional because, like, this goes back to that
guy
dude, whoever, like,
the God guy.
Yeah, the God guy, whoever that kook was or whatever happened that was.
Right, and
You
if
calling
anybody...
God a kook?
No,
I'm just kidding.
If anybody's wondering about this story, we went into that one in pretty good detail with Maynard.
with Maynard,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like, whether that I don't even know. It's just like the way that things have been happening within the last few months. It's just like unreal. And when we were on that jet, I was just like reflecting on the last few years,
Sure.
you know, and just and it made me like recognize like every year has been like a level up. And I've only been sober for 5 years. 5 years ago, I was homeless. So to be from that 5 years ago to be on a private jet with you guys, it's just like, Jesus, dude. Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of
like-
special things that happened to me when I first started working with Steve too, because I got sober and then I went back to City College. I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do? And I took this history class and I learned about like maybe 5 or 6 different cities in the United States. And then the first year we started traveling, I went to all those cities. So that was like
that's
cool.
cool.
That was like,
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, not to take it away from you, but like that.
Cool story, Kook.
Anyway.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening, dude. It's just it's epic,
Yeah.
and I love it so much, and
it's crazy because like now like I'm there's been a lot of times in the last like year where I'm just like, fuck, am I making the right decisions? Am I doing the right things as far as like career and stuff, you know?
Right.
And I just within the last couple months, I'm starting to feel a change in the career aspect.
You and I have had talks about that.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, I told you some stuff that you didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
And I told you because I felt that that was in your best interest.
Yeah.
And you know, and now everything's really working out. And I want to give you like genuine praise and encouragement, just props for what you're doing with this new sketch comedy stuff that you're doing.
Oh, thanks, dude.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, you, on your own initiative, with your own budget, you're professionally producing all of these sketch comedy skits.
Yeah.
And when you showed it to me, Like, I was genuinely, like, deeply laughing out loud.
Yeah.
Like, I love what you're doing with
Yeah,
that.
thanks, dude. I wanted to wait a little longer to show you because I know you're a tough cookie to crack on a lot of things. You know,
I mean, I'm not gonna kiss your ass and tell you I don't like something.
No,
that
exactly.
sucks.
So that's why I wanted to wait a little bit. But I was just like, you know what? I'm like I'm really stoked on this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but also he has expertise to give you that will help you too.
that
so it's a
too,
fine
yeah.
line between getting drilled and
Yeah.
like getting help.
yeah, no,
And
for sure.
I
I mean,
gave you notes and you incorporated them. And,
Yeah.
and I think we both agreed that it helped.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And then with your graphic for your T-shirt design, like I was
Yeah.
super stoked to help with that.
yeah.
Can I
Can we talk about prostitutes?
Oh,
yet?
can I do it? No, I want to segue before we do that, and there's two or three things I want to talk about. One, can we talk about since we are doing a solo podcast, are we giving away anything on the?
Thank you for that. Every time this is the third time, so but whenever the guest says, it doesn't say a guest, it says Steve-O, and there's some image that it's not a guest.
Yeah.
That we've always given away stuff generously.
It's like a little Easter egg on the podcast,
Right. So whenever there's not a guest on the Wild Ride podcast, we're giving stuff away, and candidly, we're doing that because we really, really want to be able to do podcasts that are successful without having to book a guest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's our way of kind of giving the episodes without the guest just a little nudge. There's
sure.
incentive for that. So our giveaway for this no guest podcast. It's not. Is it a giveaway? Are we doing?
Your call, boss.
Okay.
What are we doing? Because we have.
Okay, we've got a bunch of T-shirts, which I cannot believe were not hits. Like these death metal shirts, the Steve-O death metal shirt. Mm-hmm. I think it's so fantastic. And how many do we have?
I think we have maybe, I can't even read that
far away. And then there's
away.
the blood T-shirt.
We got
where
the blood
I'm covered
tees.
in blood.
We got the jackets.
Bomber
jackets.
Don't do the bomber jackets.
Okay.
I think they're epic.
Okay, so
save them for winter. So the death metal tee and the blood tee.
They'll be at the front of your website.
$0.0. All you have to pay is shipping.
Okay,
That's
cool.
Sick.
And hurry up because like with that, we're giving them away.
Yeah, because probably by this point, all the audio people are going to be on it. So get on it.
Oh, that's
ASAP.
right. But before it even makes it to YouTube, it's probably going to be already gone.
But that's cool, though. I mean,
I'm worried about the YouTube. Like when we put Maynard, like the numbers, it took real, like 24 hours for that to finally get the.
Yeah.
We might be. I mean, there's some kind of shadow ban going on.
Something going on with our YouTube numbers, man.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then the second thing I want to talk about is we're on the bus, incognito.
Yeah. Our bus, like I definitely had some feelings about like the content we put out where it's like our bus broke down. Granted, in Australia, buses are not a thing. This is the only bus you could get. It did break down, but the guy,
Dave,
the guy who owns and drives the bus is the best.
He's the
guy.
sickest.
he's probably the most epic person in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love him.
Incognito Nightliners. Check him out.
We love him, and the bus did break down on this leg too, but he fixed it so fast.
He got
and
it.
it only broke down because it went up a really steep hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we did travel 4,500 feet up in the air.
Yeah.
And it did overheat, but he got it fixed, and he's the best.
He's the best. So we wanted to give some love to the bus, to the company, to the driver and the owner, Dave, Incognito.
Okay. Now, I have a question for you that I've been dying to ask you, and we can get to the prostitute after this, but it's also... We're
technically it's a bunch of prostitutes.
Oh, we're gonna talk about all the prostitutes.
I mean, well, I'm just saying, like there was a lot of communications and negotiations.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But let me. So we were at the side of the road when the bus was overheating at one point, and our goal is to try to get Vinny to like 30,000 followers, 50,000. Like we want to blow Vinny up.
Oh, that's another thing. Is that on the Steve Aoki podcast?
I was going to bring that up, yeah.
We got to not sit on this forever.
Yeah.
Like,
you want to have a winner chosen before...
Well, you already read us a couple names.
Yeah,
and I
have I mean, I haven't picked somebody out
You
yet.
told me about like I feel like one case.
Yeah.
They were both sober, a couple, or is that another person?
I don't know. After this, I can go
By
through
by
it.
the time I record the intro for this episode, I will
Yeah.
announce in the intro,
Okay.
which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So we were at the side of the road and we were like coming up with ideas for Vinny to go viral. And, you know, we were like,
This is where you came up with the ant hill
I was like,
glory hole.
I
didn't
was
come
saying
up with
it.
that.
And I was like saying, oh, or you got to walk into a spider web with a spider right there in your face. And he's like, no fucking way.
The ant hill glory hole is pretty epic. When you showed me, you texted me a picture.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You texted me a picture. Like ant hills have holes
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
are like
Yeah.
just they look like a glory hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight up from the Porky's movie poster.
Yeah.
So where I'm going with this is Vinny's just like, no fucking way. I'm like, Vinny, you're not in a situation where you want to turn down these stunts. And he's like, he's like, I paid my dues. And I was like, have you? And then we had an ongoing discussion about it.
Dues are never paid, bro.
No,
Okay,
I know.
that's-
I
So,
haven't paid my dues.
for sure. No, but I know.
I would say,
No.
but wait, hold on. But then I just said, like, it's not like, you know, like, I feel like
That's like-
your guys' dues are paid.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you want
That's
to
how.
retire,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
it's a question of when. That was my question. When is somebody's dues paid in this line of work of like doing stunts?
I don't like. It's just like, what do you mean by dues are paid? You know,
No,
like
I kind of meant it by like.
I mean, you've paid your dues so that you don't have to share a hotel room anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when your career is in providing entertainment,
For sure.
you're not like your dues are paid. It's like saying Stephen King's dues are paid.
Yeah.
So what, he's gonna stop writing books? No.
No, it was more of like I think I've paid enough dues to where, and
You
I'm not
can
even
say no to stunts.
where I'm not even talking about stuff with you. I'm talking about within the last 4 years where I could say no to something.
But aren't there bits
Oh,
like
that sounds like way too much of a banger.
Yeah, and then eventually I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll pay whatever dues, I'll do whatever I need to do.
Stop using the term "pay your dues"
Yeah.
when it relates to your art.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
a good point. But were the new guys at Jackass turning down stunts on the J4
No,
movie?
weren't you guys like fighting for more screen time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not even the new guys. That's just everybody all the time. Unless bulls are involved, and then nobody wants anything to do with it.
Yeah.
I was curious about that genuine question of like paying your dues in this game. Like for everybody that's trying to make it, like
Yeah,
there's
I
no
mean-
such thing.
Like I've paid my dues, so like I don't share a hotel room.
Yeah.
You know, I've paid my dues, so I actually travel on my own separate personal RV.
Yeah.
But like. It's not like
Yeah, no,
I
that
paid
makes-
my dues where I'm not gonna build my crash capsule and like
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. And get tits.
yeah,
Yeah.
leave the art out of it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
so
glad I
by all
asked
means,
that.
you like pay your dues has nothing to do with you sticking your penis in that anthole.
Yeah.
So you like that idea?
So lose the laundry and start fucking.
I mean, how epic of a thumbnail would that be? Just him hugging a fucking big anthill.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad I asked. Now we can
Yeah.
talk about prostitutes.
Okay, so
Real quick, can we check that camera? Sorry.
yeah, easy.
Make sure that's still going.
And let's leave out specific names of who called who during the fucking.
Please.
So, on the first trip to Australia, we met up with my buddy Latham, who's got this, like, bone disease where his bones break, and I gave him a tattoo. A lot of people said I did a bad job, but they were wrong. This time we met up with Latham to color in his tattoo. And he mentioned that the last time I saw him, we had thrown around the idea of maybe getting him some luck with the ladies.
His DS.
Yeah. And it just so happens that in Australia, prostitution is legal.
Well, we didn't know that at first.
I actually do. I had forgotten, but back when Jackass #2 came out, we were shooting these promos for it. We actually went to a brothel, like a whorehouse in Australia, and screened Jackass #2 for like all of the
That's
ladies
amazing.
working there.
Really?
That's so
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, so I actually knew prostitution was legal in Australia, but I had forgotten. So while I'm tattooing Latham, he says, "Oh, you know, just so you know, like I still didn't, you know, And I was like, oh, were we talking about that? He says, yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, let's make it happen. So I asked Vinny. I said, yo, Vinny,
Do what you do best.
yeah, you know, like, let's find some. So, am I correct that you Googled the city we were in, which at the time was Gladstone?
Mm-hmm.
Gladstone prostitutes.
I think I said escorts.
Escorts.
Yeah.
And it just showed up.
Yeah, and it gave me like a couple websites, and like a lot of them were sketchy looking, or all of them were sketchy looking. But I just started dialing and texting.
And like every time someone actually picked up the phone.
No, I didn't. Nobody answered, but I was getting replies via text, and it's more of like, yeah, I'm available. How long? Where are you?
We happened to be in a hotel that was like next door to their like principal operating hotel.
Yeah, right next door.
Right. So I give, and this service was it was $100 per 15 minutes.
Yes.
Which is pretty epic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I said, hey, you know, Latham, here's $200 so you can have a half an hour. Plus, here's a tip, you know, an extra $40.
Yeah.
So go enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I'll have nothing to do with being there, but so Latham heads over next door.
Yeah.
Like, as expected, the lady opens up the door, sees Latham in his wheelchair, and says, nope.
And shuts the door.
And shuts the door. She was rude about it, too?
I don't know. I think, I mean, that is pretty rude. Just saying, like,
Right.
no and shutting the door.
Right.
You know? I mean, at least I think so. But, I mean, but we didn't.
So he struck out.
We didn't specify what
Right.
the situation was.
Right. So we struck out. We went and did the show that night. And during the show...
And Latham was pissed. He
Yeah.
was just like, do you believe this shit? Do you believe that happened? Do you believe what she did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Latham's the best.
Yeah, he's the best. And he
love
he was like trying to give me the money back to give to you, and I'm just like, no, dude, you keep it. Like,
He just has a boner and he's punching holes through walls.
We had been planning on, I think, leaving like that night or
Yeah.
early the next morning.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and-
Gladstone the Maryborough to pop your...
yeah, well, we were gonna film like so. I during the show, during one of my videos, I'm backstage texting, hey, we're not leaving this city. We're gonna get the job done right.
Yeah.
You know, tell Latham, you know, like stick around, like. And so we stayed in Gladstone. And the next day, how many prostitutes did we communicate with?
There's so many.
Probably 10.
Yeah, there's maybe 10.
You're buying, like, what do you have to, like, some will only accept, like, gas station. Like,
Excuse me? Yeah, one guy, it was probably some fucking dude scamming me. He was like, okay, cool, like, I don't take cash. Because I'm like, oh, we're at the theater, come through. And he's like, great. I'm like, we got the cash. And he's like, oh, I don't take cash, I take a gift card. So I'm like, all right. So I went to the gas station, I fucking went to the ATM, got cash. Gave the lady the money, got the gift card, and then and on the way back, I'm like, yeah, I got the gift card. He's like, already?
that dude must have been hot.
I mean, I thought it was a girl, you know, and he's like, oh, why didn't you tell me you're going to get gift cards? I want an Apple gift card. I'm like, well, I have a United gift card. He's like, well, send me the...
Yeah.
So that was a bust.
So you knew you were talking to a dude?
I mean, I know, but like... I mean, I figured because it was like a scam.
Weird,
No, I always watch Scammer Paybacks, and they make you do things on... So I figured it was a dude.
right. So then when we finally found the actual lady for the job, it was the next day?
It was the next day,
Yeah.
and she was the only person that we were communicating with that said, call me.
And hopefully, fingers crossed, that all of this footage lives in the same video, the Prison Pocket video. Like,
Yeah, I don't see why it
it's
wouldn't.
probably going to be a little bit tricky. And hopefully this video doesn't just get buried for some of the stuff we've talked about. But, hey, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So we called her, and I just said, you know, I asked her, hey, we got a guy Latham, we want to take care of him, he's a virgin. She's like, yeah, no problem. And then I just said, hey, I'm not used to this kind of stuff. I was like, are you a cop? Do I have to ask you if you're a cop? She's like, no, but I dressed up like one sometimes, haha. And then she was explaining to us the laws.
Right. And we've stuck her behind, like, the not the curtain, but the
blind.
shim, or whatever. Yeah, the blinds.
Yeah.
So you can see just a silhouette of her explaining the legality of prostitution in Australia.
And she said there's brothels and there's freelance, which are both legal, and she's the freelance version where she has all of her licenses. Or whatever.
So she's licensed. I mean, it's epic.
Yeah.
So she was super cool about explaining on camera without her identity being revealed. We told her we wanted to have Latham on camera when the deed was done to see his facial reaction. Turns out we had like 3 cameras. She was fine with it. Yeah. Totally cool with everything.
So was Latham.
Oh my God, so late. So I'm gone at this point. I went off to go get some food or something, and I'm getting reports back. Like, is the deed done? And Scott says he nutted twice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, dude, this is the greatest thing in the world, because there was potential for this to be like something that was kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe like, oh, we think this is gonna be a great video. Like, oh, dude, like as if we're like, there was a possibility that it would feel like we were kind of exploiting Latham for content, and that
like bullying him into getting a hooker.
But yeah, right. And not only was that not the case, but he loved it so much that he was finished with the whole operation within 20 seconds, he said. And he had a half an hour. So he said, hey, would you mind if we do that again? And this lady was so cool.
She's so sick.
You bet.
Yeah.
So yeah, you paid for the half hour. Why not?
Yeah, so then, like, the whole thing, like, over. The fact that it happened twice is genuinely indicative that it was not in any way a bummer.
No,
You know?
of course not.
And as soon, and he's on camera, like, when she walks out, like, the door closes and he zips in his little electric wheelchair straight over the camera, and he's like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. Wasn't he like sucking her titties and slapping her butt?
I don't
too?
know. I have not seen
He's
it.
slapping her butt.
Is that true?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow. I know. I did
Dude,
know.
he's such a legend, dude.
I saw his still shot on the camera, just a freeze frame. Where it
He's
seemed
holding
he's-
her hair.
Yeah, you got a little into it.
Dude, bless his heart.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Bless his heart. And what a week. Like I said,
Yeah.
what a week.
Yeah.
And
It's my birthday tomorrow. I turned 40.
I know,
So
dude.
that'll be crazy.
I am aware of that. It is in my calendar on repeat every year. And
Yeah, I don't even want to do anything, but
Nah.
it's another crazy week. But maybe we can get dinner tonight or something, or whatever.
like I had it in my calendar. I knew it was coming. Jeremy hit me up yesterday. He said, hey, you want to do something big for, not because I care about you or your birthday, but it is an opportunity for killer content.
Well, I mean, what are we gonna do for?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Can you do like either try to hug a kangaroo or do the glory hole beehive?
I'll
or
do whatever
anthill?
you need me to do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why don't you get...
I don't want to.
He's like, how am I going to fit this monster in that little anthole? How am I going to fit this baseball bat in there? All right. Well, I think
I thought that was a fun one, and I like being in Australia.
I like being in Australia. I just hope Bam doesn't die. I really do. I really wish, man. It's not too late. It's never too late, man.
Yeah.
It's never too late to get it.
No, of course not. I love
If anything, like, the worse things get, the better the hope is for.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's pretty fucking bad.
It's pretty bad.
Real quick, this comes out tomorrow.
Correct.
No, I think today's Tuesday.
It's now after midnight on Wednesday morning in America.
Okay, you got shows coming up in
It's
Australia.
11 p.m. Tuesday night right now.
Okay, yeah.
So.
And we got some shows coming up in Australia that you might want to send traffic to.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. We've got, like, there's one show that's sticking out. The third show that we added in Traralgon.
Traralgon.
Trial it.
I don't
Okay.
know. I haven't said that.
I mean, whatever, dude. If you're in Australia, there's a chance to catch us, and the show is
Yeah.
literally epic. If you're in the UK,
I was just gonna say, if
yeah,
you wanted to
that's
say anything
if
about
you're
the
in
UK,
the UK, man,
yeah.
like a pre-sale is just on, and dude, like I was told not to promote the pre-sale for the UK because they have some weird rule. You can only pre-sell 30% of the tickets, and they're like, dude, those things are gone.
Whoa.
That's so sick.
So it's like pre-sale. If you want to be a part of the pre-sale, you got it. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not even allowed to promote it, they said.
Sick.
Yeah. So yeah, dudes.
Fun times.
Yeah, there it is. I'll do my outro right here. Now, how about that? Would you believe that? And thank you for sticking around to the end, man. My beautiful street team. Woo.
You.
Good job, Vinny. I don't think it was an outrageous statement to say that that was arguably one of, if not the most entertaining episodes ever. I think so. I mean, man, it's crazy. And I'll leave you guys with this, man. Like, I really am genuinely terrified when I wake up in the morning to open up my phone and what am I gonna see that headline that I'm dreading? Maybe, you know what? People recover, man. People recover all the time. There's no such thing as being a lost cause in the game of addiction, man. And I tried everything I could. And I just couldn't, I can't do it. But hopefully what's going on now is enough to finally get our buddy back. And I'm just saying, fingers crossed, man. All kidding aside, dude, I don't want Bam to die. I don't want it. I want him back. He could have a good life still. He could have a really amazing life. So I love you guys. Thanks for sticking around.